Quiet your senses and simplify your mind. Simulate that feeling from another place and time. And we're gonna shine through blaze of glory underneath the flashing lights. When the day becomes night, celebrate that moment, cause it might not come.
Hello, all you cool cats and jive turkeys. I am Son of Ifrit, and I welcome you fine folks to another commentary. Apologies for the lack of updates. I've just been busy with other things. Now then, today we're going to take a look at a guy named Midnight Phantom. Let's go over some smaller details first. Blaze goes and makes a commentary over his rant about bronies, which prompts him to go and make 3 videos responding to her commentary. And let me say this straight out, from the tone of the response and the rant, the guy's got the ego the size of Paula Deen's butter fetish. Well, with all that said and taken care of, let's get this started.
Man, what's up, motherfuckers?
Barely 5 seconds in, and already I get the feeling this guy's a pothead.
Midnight Phantom here. Hey, this is going to be my first, and I would say probably a 50% chance that this is going to be my last commentary ever.
We also got a 5% chance that he'll quit YouTube over this, but I don't see that happening. Now, there is a 70% chance that we'll see him throw a tantrum over this. Some of those tantrums could be severe, if not widespread.
I generally don't like this style of video, just period, so, I'm only doing it this once. There's a very high chance I'm only doing it just this once, so enjoy.
If you don't like the commentary style, then why not just make it a rant video? Surely it's not hard for something like this.
Okay, next time we'll have the real thing.
Commentary is directed towards a video that was made in response to My Little Pony Brony Rants by, Blaze and Rants. Her video is entirely based on a commentary of me. I've seen plenty of commentaries before, and, you know, even though she's talking mad shit about me and is completely obscuring my point just for her own viewing benefit...
Actually, no. She came off well-informed in her commentary on you. She certainly put in more effort than you did when it came to researching.
I can't help but say that I'm a little bit flattered that I am noticed enough to do a commentary. Well, anyways, let's fucking fill up this cesspool, shall we?
Fill up the cesspool? Bad choice of words coming from you. It's like bathing in lava when watching this whole thing. It leaves you in pain and nothing good comes out of it. And before anyone gets on my case for the comments I'm making, the guy comes off like an egotistical jackass and has thrown insults at people already, so to me, insults are free reign.
Okay, next time we'll have the real thing.
You almost got the introduction right. I would say that you got 2 things wrong. One, the music is slightly off. Was that Slash with Miles Kennedy or Alter Bridge? Either way, get some new metal or something on there and you got the music that sums me up perfectly.
It's just an updated intro. It's not meant to suit your taste, you narcissistic dimwit. And also, new metal? Really?
Second thing is the title of your rant. You're making me sound like one of those irrational little squeakers saying, "Ooh, My Little Pony is gay. They're for girls, boys like them, therefore they're gay."
Squeaker? No. But I can make you one, though. See?
Well, no, that's not what I'm doing in my video. All I'm doing in my video is pointing out inconvenient truth and stating how crazy and psychotic their fan base is.
And this is where you are irrational. You bring up arguments that we're supposed to take at face value, and you can't back up your claims. And when people try to argue against it, you get pissy at them for, quote-unquote, not understanding the points or not watching the video. You refuse to listen to reason.
There we go. I'm afraid to start. I feel like I should mention a few things. 1, I've never watched any episode of My Little Pony. 2, I'm not a huge fan of the concept of the show. However, I am aware that there are people who like that kind of thing, and that's fine. Number 3, I'm only going to be talking about the topic of the video, which is the Roni fanbase. So don't go assuming that I know shit about the show.
I believe you when you say you might not have watched the show, but I call bullshit on your statement that you don't think that you don't have any interest in the fan community.
She just said that she doesn't like the show. How can you have an interest in a fan base if you don't like the stuff that they like? I mean, I don't care much for Orphan Black, so I got no interest in the fan base. Same goes for shows like Breaking Bad and Grimm.
Because, you see, any other person who watched my video would... You went into my video with animosity, okay?
Oh, don't even talk about animosity when you did the exact same thing. Do you actually think that the majority agree with you? At the time of this recording, there were 27 comments on his brony rant. 2 comments, 3 at best, actually supported him. The rest of the comments were calling you out on your bullshit.
That's the fucking reason you took the effort to make a commentary saying how I'm supposedly wrong and bronies are okay in being crazy and psychotic.
And that's another generalization to add to the trash bin. Whoopee!
Okay, so don't fucking, as a first lie or misrepresentation of the video.
Having said that, let's start this.
What's up, motherfuckers? Midnight Fam here.
I wasn't trying to be edgy. That's a staple in my videos, okay? It's sort of like an introduction, though I have an intro now, and at the time when I started doing that, I didn't. But either way, I don't. The only reason that she brought that up is because she didn't like it, and she didn't have anything negative to say about it, so she's just pulling a random criticism out of her ass.
It's a joke. A joke! Did it fly past your radar, or are you that dense? And also, Midnight Phantom. New metal. If that doesn't say trying to be edgy, I don't know what does.
Today I'm going to be ranting about something that might have been considered being an old lore if this were anything else.
I know I'm cutting him off for a bit, but there are going to be points in the video where the screen just glitches and goes black.
The only part of the video that I'm going to give you a point on, even though I probably shouldn't, if I didn't give you any points, I just kept taking away towards your score, would be so negative that it'd be unfair, because I can tell you got some brain cells working inside your fucking head. But, see, it's my camera. See, this is not the camera I use, but, see, if you can see in the reflection there, I use a PlayStation Vita to record my video quality, and in transferring onto the computer, sometimes it has a little bit of a split-second glitch, where when the video begins, in cutting and editing the videos together, the frame will be sort of degraded, and it'll cause that effect. So, that's just an error, and I don't really know what I can do to fix that. But, again, that should have no relevance on the point that I'm making.
It's a criticism to the video nonetheless. Just because you're trying to make a point doesn't mean you aren't going to be shielded from critiques about your editing and your quality. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that my video quality is perfect, but I at least try and make up for it with good points and a little humor.
Considering this topic is still current and fairly relevant among most of the internet users, I consider this relevant, most people consider this relevant, and it sure as hell is not going away. Sure as hell not gone away anytime soon since it came out like 5 years ago. Today I'm going to be talking about bronies.
Frankly, I don't see why the topic should be relevant at all. From what I understand, yeah, there was a time where the fan base was a bit pushy. However, over the past few years, it's calmed down quite a bit. And when the show came out in 2010, a lot of people saw the need to talk shit about the bronies, about what they are and what they aren't. I guess my point is that it's been over 5 years. A whole crap ton of things can change about a fan base during the course of over 5 years.
Fucking sped through why I told you the topic is relevant, okay? The fan base may be 5 years old, but believe me, I've been around YouTube a lot longer than 5 fucking years. I remember when bronies started coming around, and I'm gonna also call bullshit on that point. You're saying that they were worse back then. No, if anything, they're worse now, because I fucking remember being on YouTube back in 2010 when the fan base started, okay? I would see them on, like, maybe a few people's account icons, but there was not nearly as bad of an issue then with their fucking irrational hate spamming and all their stupid fucking psychotic Pinkie Pie shit.
So, cupcakes, pony icons, and apparent intolerance. Cupcakes. A fact that's so old that it's seen its fair share of poorly done copycats. Pony icons. They're just a bunch of icons that have little meaning besides what they like. I mean, what? If you see one in a video that's not brony related, do you go off on them? Get over it. And intolerance? The majority of militant bronies have calmed down. You still see a few from time to time, but you seem to forget that every fan base has their bad sides. Need I remind you of the furry community?
So that's a freaking first lie right there. And if you don't fucking believe me, just look up their fan base. I don't even feel like I should be debating this for you. If you did any research for yourself at all, you would realize how full of shit that statement is.
Being a brony myself, it seems to me that you've barely done research at all. All I've seen you do is generalize a group of people who are simply fans of a show. Let me ask you this. Have you seen the charities? Like Bronies for Good, Humble Brony Bundle, Seeds of Kindness, Nurse Red Heart's Roundup, the fundraisers for Michael Maroons, funding for Kiki's cancer treatments, various live streams for Hurricane Sandy survivors, along with the various fundraisers and auctions at different conventions. And the money and blood go to good causes. So I'll say it again. Every fan base has a bad side, but the majority have a good side to them. And if you call donating anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million for charity a bad thing, what is wrong with you?
I'm gonna make a disclaimer right here. I'm talking specifically to bronies. If you watch My Little Pony, and you're fine with the show, but you are not a brony, because I'm gonna tell you what a brony is right now. A brony is somebody who is up in your face about them watching My Little Pony. They treat it like it's religion or something.
No. A brony is a term that refers to a male fan or viewer of the MLP show or franchise. You seem to have a misconception over the term itself, seeing as how you misuse the term by using it to describe the crazy minority of the fan base.
Goddamn well what the definition of a brony is. I'm speaking based on what their actions show, not based on the defined definition. Wow! That's the main fucking point of this video, and you're too fucking stupid to even understand that.
Okay, and add more insults into the garbage. The people you're talking about, the people who want to have sex with horses, and the militants, are a minority of fans, or they are trolls. I have already given enough examples as to why your research is both flawed and outdated. Though, knowing you, you're gonna say, oh, I'm not looking at your point of view.
And there's fucking 11 more minutes to go, people. The shit train is not stopped yet, and is not even close to stopping. You are in for some fuck.
And I'll say the same thing here. This is only going to get worse. We still have 2 videos to go, and already I got a headache. Whoopee!
If you're a dude, or girl, I mean girl is technically because they're Pegasus when they watch My Little Pony, but if you're a girl or boy watch My Little Pony and not a brony or Pegasus, then this does not apply to you. Because you are not part of the problem that I'm addressing.
Again with the misusage of terms. Pegasus and brony are terms used to describe a fan base, not a minority of said fan base. I feel the need to hammer this in because, again, the way you use the terms makes me think that you're trying to describe a minority.
The way it's not a minority. It's basically anybody who calls themselves a brony does this.
You know, I just had a thought. What if this guy's a closet brony? I mean, it makes sense. He stated that he's watched the show and apparently didn't like it. But what if he actually did? It all makes sense now. He's made that video to show that he's not a fan, but he's secretly a brony under a different name. It makes one wonder.
Like I also said in my video, if you just watch the show, you're cool with it, you like the art maybe, and maybe the concept of it, but you don't get pissed off at people when they tell you that you don't like it as well, that makes them not a brony, okay? There's plenty of people who call themselves bronies, but by my definition, and what I was trying to point out in the video, are not bronies.
Your definition of what a brony is means less than the fair and balanced debate on Fox News. The definition of a brony has already been stated in Blaze's commentary. Trying to say that your definition is the end-all be-all is like saying one religion is the true religion.
So shut up. I know I totally could have said something better than shut up. God fucking damn it, you pissed me off.
Scripts are your best friend. If not scripts, then small notes. Or at least go over what you're going to say before you start. How is that such a foreign concept?
Okay, first things first, with the bronies, they are out of control when it comes to fan bases. I'm not going to be a hypocrite here. I am an open bisexual, and I wouldn't say I'm an open furry, but I definitely would say that I'm kind of a furry.
Okay. But sexuality isn't a fan base. I get where you're trying to go with the comparison, but it's still a really dumb comparison to make. Dude, you would have been better off just comparing the furry fandom to the brony fandom, and it would make more sense. I mean, you do realize that you are now comparing sexuality to a fan base like...
Comparing sexuality to My Little Pony. Okay, there's again another point that you're strawmanning just to help your argument succeed more, okay?
I would not be talking, Mr. Straw Harvester. With what I've been seeing from your arguments and points, you're gonna have straw to make an army.
Firstly, about the bisexuality, the brony fanbase is notorious for bringing up the, oh, you hate gay people, or, oh, you're just closed-minded, so I was shooting that out of the air before it became a problem. Of course, you're gonna go and fucking take it and try and say, oh, you're gonna compare the fanbase to sexuality.
That only applies to people and trolls who are calling bronies gay and hating on gays. There is no reason to bring up your sexuality, just like there's no reason to bring up this!
And secondly, the reason that I stated that I was a furry is because if I didn't state that I was a furry, then I would have left a gigantic elephant in the room about how I'm talking about the My Little Pony fan base and how they're on the deep part of the web, yet I am still a furry, and I make art on my DeviantArt page, which is linked on my YouTube channel.
And this is where you left the big opening. So I went and checked his DeviantArt. just expecting regular art. No. Instead, I find that he's mostly got pictures, fics, and role plays specifically for vor. Vor! Even a good chunk of the bad side of the bronies find that shit nasty. So how can you say that these people are bad, or what they do is taboo, when you have such a huge double standard on your DeviantArt? And for those that don't know, vor is a fetish in which one fantasizes about being eaten alive, or eating another creature alive.
If I didn't address that, then you probably would have fucking criticized me for that.
No, she just said that your argument would make more sense if you just said you were a furry. But no, you had to bring up your sexuality, and that caused this domino effect of explanations.
Okay, next time we'll have the real thing.
I don't shove my opinions down other people's throat, even though that is exactly what I'm doing in the video.
Not shoving my opinion down their throat.
Oh, I don't shove my opinions down other people's throats, which is why I keep telling people to look at the argument from my point of view, insult people's intelligence, and generalize anyone who doesn't agree with me, like a true debater would do.
See, they did a little something called a personal choice. See, that means that they chose to watch my video. And that video is addressing my personal point of view in the debate. And see, if I were shoving it down the throat, it would be like an advertisement on YouTube that's mandatory to watch.
First off, the whole choice argument is a straw man all on its own. How could someone have an opinion on something if they don't watch said video? And second, that is not how shoving opinions down your throat goes. Prime example, your behavior. Ever since the whole debacle started, I have seen nothing but comments on you, insulting others, or telling people that they're not thinking properly. That's not proper debate. That's shoving your opinion down other people's throat. Or if you want another prime example, you keep saying that this is all your opinion, but you have stated both in the comments and even in your videos on occasion how this is all facts or this is an inconvenient truth.
So basically, by your logic, Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel, they're shoving their opinion down people's throat when they say that they don't like a movie, by your logic.
But there's a big difference. Siskel and Ebert gave out their opinions on movies and their opinions alone. Not once, as far as I know, have they stated that people are idiots for wanting to see a movie that they said was bad, or claim that their opinions were facts. All you've done is give out your opinions, state them as fact, and expect others to follow said opinion.
Or, if that's too complicated for you to understand and you don't know who Roger Ebert, Gene Siskel are, imagine that's like that's like saying that AVGN is shoving his opinion down your throat because he happens to not like a certain game.
More differences. Not only is he a comedy channel, but he mainly talks shit about the games he hated. And he also has reviewed notoriously bad games. Not once did he ever tell people that's how they should feel too.
And you do, but you chose to watch the video. Therefore, he's not shoving his opinion down your throat!
Butthurt, you sound very butthurt. Here now sit on this block of ice and take a big chill pill.
Halfway in the video, it's very obvious what the biggest problem with this commentary is. This person only looks for one-dimensional meanings for their argument.
Again with the one-dimensional malarkey. See, this is what shoving opinions is. You can't accept people who aren't going to think the way you do, and you just say, well, they don't have the proper way of thinking, or, oh, they're just pretending to be smart. Remind me how much pot you gotta smoke in order to get that mindset, because at that point, you need to cut down your pot intake.
Basically what I mean by that is that they hear something one way, but they don't try and think of a deeper meaning to what that means.
Oh, hi, Pot! I'm Kettle!
That's basically what my entire video is about, and what most of my videos are about. They're about a deeper established meaning behind the sentences.
I got okay. I'm calm. Now that okay, I'm calm. So this deep meaning I've been hearing you say. So there's deep meaning in your speedruns? Your reviews? Master Shake talking about the dental industry? And your stupid Mario to Plumber parody? Yeah, talk about another dead horse brought up. The hell kind of deep meaning am I supposed to get out of that? These aren't documentaries, they're eye-openers. This is stuff that every other person has done on the internet. This isn't anything new or thought-provoking like you seem to make it out to be. Though in the eyes of a stoner, it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case.
I mean, my sentences mean more than one thing. But of course, you gotta go, and for the sake of your commentary, you gotta go and find out the most discriminatory and incriminating meaning for what I said, and you have to go present that as if that's what I meant, when in reality, that's just a piss-poor attempt to straw-man the argument.
But that's all you've been doing! Straw man after straw man! You've just made an entire civilization of nothing but straw men! All you're proving is that you can't take criticism and think that everyone is wrong and you're right. Get off your pedestal. You are not the Emperor of Man.
Next. Other fan bases don't do that. I mean, Blackville Bride's fan base does.
No, I don't smoke it no more.
Didn't skip my point because we're not talking about Blackville Brides. You skipped my point because I made a very good and valid argument there.
All you said was that you still hold your point about Black Veil Brides in your previous rant. It went into no detail whatsoever about the apparent similarities between the fan bases. That's got nothing to do with the Brony rant in hand. You know, maybe this wouldn't have been a problem if you had some kind of script or a few notes.
The point that I made there is that all crazy deep internet fan bases do this crap. That's why the Brony fan base is so easily comparable to all of them.
Because we're clearly supposed to get that from this.
Other fan bases don't do that. I mean, Blackville Bride's fan base does. I'm not ranting about Blackville Brides. I still have my same point of view about them as I did in my previous rant, but freaking my point was that their fan base and some fan bases are crazy, and Bronies probably take the cake. Blackville Bride the Blackville Bride Army is probably one of the deepest internet fan bases that can still worship modern day music. I know that's probably not true. It's just out of what I've seen. They're the most irrational. They're like to music what Bronies are to fandoms. Okay, they're irrational. They don't listen to fucking other points of view, just like you.
Says the guy throwing insults, insulting intelligence, and God, I sound like a broken record.
And they also they talk out their ass. Again. Just like you.
But you do it a lot more than she does. You've done that throughout both videos, and I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Okay. Next time we'll have the real thing.
I find the irony in this to be absolutely astounding, especially when other people, including myself, called you out about the logical fallacies in your video, which for the most part you completely ignored. When I responded to a comment that you made, you thought to respond with strawman arguments and accused me of not watching the video entirely before responding to your comment.
You didn't watch the video entirely. Maybe you did watch the video entirely the first time, I don't give a shit. You sure as hell didn't think too hard about it, that's pretty fucking sure.
Oh, so like your entire response to her. Okay. But in all seriousness, she brings up a good point. And what do? You just keep making excuses as to why you make shit. Typical from someone like you.
Okay, next time we'll have the real thing.
I'd like to know what kind of research you did, because when I looked up the term brony, the first page that showed up had definitions for brony, a site for the brony fandom, a Wikipedia page on the MLP fanbase in general, and then I found sites making fun of bronies or making memes out of them.
The same thing you did. I looked up, quote, My Little Pony brony. And most of the suggested results were exactly what you just fucking said. Fan pages that posted creepy shit and all that fucking other nonsense. So thank you for proving my point for me.
Do you have selective hearing? Not once did she bring up creepy pony stuff. I did the exact same search that he did. Safe search was turned off, mind you. And all I got was articles about bronies, the wiki page, an MLP fan site, and one of the brony documentaries that was funded through Kickstarter and originally thought up by one of the voice actors. And before saying it's a negative take on them, it followed different bronies going to BronyCon in a positive light.
A very common argument used by bronies is that, oh, the show is intended for everybody. It doesn't fucking matter. The target audience is 7-year-old girls. Do not even tell me that it is not the target audience. It is a show about fucking rainbow ponies. Come the fuck on, people.
Even though it's targeted towards a specific demographic, that doesn't mean that other people can't watch it, hence why those people might say it's for everyone. It's like anime. America is not their target demographic, yet Americans watch anime anyway. Do you see what I mean here?
First of all, imagine if it were any other show besides My Little Pony. If it were a group of people getting together and watching, I don't know, some Barbie show, Or how about the Care Bears movies back from the 80s? How about a group of men in their early 20s getting together and watching that? You seriously wouldn't tell me that's fucking weird? Come on, people.
Hey, it ain't as weird as furries wanting to yiff. Or in other cases, people having a fetish for vor. So what if you want to watch Care Bears or Barbie? So long as they aren't harming anyone, then what's the problem?
Second of all, the animes in America are I don't agree with this. I agree with artistic freedom, but they Americanize the fuck out of the animes that come over to the States. So, case in point, this scene.
These donuts are great. Jelly-filled are my favorite. Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
Ah, yes. Using an example that's around 20 years old, by a company that's now defunct. Most anime, if any anime anymore, doesn't get Americanized for the sake of the audience. Look at Code Geass, Space Dandy, Gurren Lagann, Lucky Star, Azumanga Daioh, Sergeant Frog, and every Hayao Miyazaki film ever made.
Actually, what my point is that there's a big difference between Japanese animes and Americanized Japanese animes. They try and take the target demographic and make it directed towards Americans. So that's sort of an unfair comparison, don't you think?
Ha ha ha. Piss poor silly face is piss poor. One more video, and we'll be done with this tripe.
Okay, next time we'll have the real thing.
Again, this isn't about justifying their interest. They have a name in order to identify themselves and to safely say, hey, I belong to this said group.
Really? Well, let's look at the Mario fan base, huh? Okay, how about Mega Man? Mega Man fan base. Or how about that one show, Courage the Cowardly Dog? Or how about let's go to movies now. Castaway, they don't call themselves a special name. Lone, God, fuck, what's that movie called? Road Warrior by Mel Gibson. They don't call themselves Road Warriors or something stupid like that. So, your argument is null and void. Sorry.
You do realize a lot of fan bases have their own names for themselves, right? Let's see, besides Bronies, there's Whovians, Browncoats, Arrowheads, Gleeks, Trekkies, X-Files, the Kiss Army, the Panzer Battalion, Potterheads, Ringers, Jedheads, Simmers, Pokemaniacs, the Brotherhood Without Banners, you get the idea. There are plenty of fan bases that have little names for one another, and it's not uncommon.
Like I said, people, if you're just a neutral fan of My Little Pony who just watches the show and keeps it to themselves...
We don't talk about brownies. Don't ask, don't tell.
Goddamn well, that's not what I meant by saying keep it to themselves. You know that I meant that they don't need to shove it down other people's throat, and they don't need to get in everybody's face about it, and like that resistance is futile movement.
That's how old now? That hasn't been around since late 2011. And really, you could have easily worded it better. That's a prime spot for a joke. Besides, that's not what Don't Ask, Don't Tell means. The concept is that you don't talk about certain things whether you agree with it or not. That's not them shoving opinions down their throat or assimilation processes. Work on your grammar or plan out your points properly.
A moment. Freaking... and I'm strawmanning the argument. Holy fucking shit. And you are one of the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen on YouTube.
Irony! You're slowly becoming straw with your statements. Soon you'll be a straw man yourself and become king of straw men and straw man arguments.
That's not true, but you're a gigantic hypocrite, okay?
And this is why notes at the very least can be important, so that you don't stumble around your words like a drunk Irishman.
Turn that mirror and see the candle is black. You turn that mirror and see your fucking candle is black, dumbass.
The fuck does that even mean? I get what you're trying to say somewhat, but the wording was atrocious.
And whatever friends they have, all the power to you. I'm perfectly fine with people like you. In fact, you should give yourself a pat on the back for being a positive example out of the fucking 98% that aren't any good. But the fact of the matter is, there's still that 98%, and that's the overwhelming majority of bronies.
98%? Well, golly gee whiz, it sure brings me great comfort when you can provide proof of such a statistic. What's this? You can't? You just pulled that out of your ass? Then don't give it to me, hell, that's nasty.
It's just a hyperbole, an exaggeration, okay? If you could think beyond this one-dimensional plane of thought that you are clearly on, then you would realize that, okay?
But you've been making generalizations up the wazoo. You claim it's a hyperbole, but yet you claim all bronies want to make love to horses. You claim you like intelligent conversation, but all I've been hearing from you is stupid talk. You claim to have a different way of thinking, but all I see is this crack-ass pothead too doped up on his marijuana. Whoa, where'd that come from?
Going against Taco Bell, if I were to say, oh, the reason that people eat Taco Bell, the only reason people like Taco Bell is because you could get a 15-pound burrito for 3 cents. See, does that make my argument any less valid? No, the point is still the same. The only reason the point being that the only reason people like Taco Bell is because the food is cheap. But that same logic is being used here, okay? It's just an exaggeration, because I didn't actually have the number, but I guarantee you it's the overwhelming majority.
I guarantee that no one can really trust. You have no evidence to back your claims up. All we have to rely on is your word of mouth, and that's not even trustworthy.
So, basically, by your logic, everything I say has to be exact. Do you realize how fucking horrible life would be if everything had to be on the exact motherfucking point?
Because better evidence helps your argument. If you provide evidence to your claims, evidence that's fresh, might I add, and not a dead horse like cupcakes, then it helps strengthen your argument. But with how you've presented your claims and how you've stumbled around your words, and of course the way you present yourself in general, your argument comes off like a dry cow, old and unable to produce anything of substance.
No, you don't, and don't try and expect that of me, because you sure as hell aren't perfect either.
Of course nobody's perfect, but at least you could have tried to present your case and not just do a sloppy job at it.
Okay, next time we'll have the real thing.
So then what happens if somebody does provide an intelligent discussion in the comment section? Oh.
An intelligent discussion. You strawmanned my argument.
Seriously? I'd surrender your strawman civilization now because Gandhi is starting to get a bit hostile towards you.
So I told you what was wrong with you saying that, okay? And now you're telling me that I'm shooting down intellectual discussion?
Yes, because all your discussions have clearly been intellectual.
Okay, so it's only intellectual discussion if you agree with it. Is that what we're going on? Oh, no, despite that, it's only intellectual discussion if you like it. That's what this is. It's only intellectual discussion if you like it. And that is not how you have a debate.
You know, this circles around way too well when it's applied to him. When people with differing opinions bring up their own points, you don't even try to listen or go and make proper discussion.
The end of that commentary, and to be seriously honest with you, that wasn't me overacting. I seriously did get pissed off by a lot of that shit.
Dude, bruh, it's like a video on YouTube, man. If you really want to use your own arguments on yourself, you chose to watch it. You could have easily just stayed away from it, or actually learned from your problems. But no, you have to get pissy and retaliate. That is not how you debate, and your reaction to it is only going to make things worse.
All she basically did through the entire video was strawman my argument.
Like you?
And act like a total fucking hypocrite.
Like you?
And could you really blame her? She didn't even get the foundation of my argument.
Like you. You broke my sentence repeater! I knew I should have bought this thing used!
The fact that the definition of what's been established is not entirely how they act. That was one of the main points of my argument, and that's one of the first things I said from the get-go.
That is complete and utter bullshit. Your entire argument was based around the generalization that all bronies were creepy horse fuckers. Not once did you ever bring up something different about them.
And she didn't even understand that. My point is that she doesn't even understand the basic fundamentals of what the argument in my video was.
And something tells me you don't understand your argument half the time.
And she's making a commentary. Good lord, do you expect any more than just a bunch of hypocrisy and strawmanning of my argument? Oh boy, guys, I'll tell you this right now. This isn't gonna stop me from making rants, but this is the reason that I despise commentaries, is because these people don't give a shit about what you really think. They only care about pointing out things that you've done wrong to appeal to a majority. Have you ever noticed that?
No. People that make commentaries do them because either they want to, they want to help the person they're commentating on while throwing their own brand of humor into it, or it's to show other people how to not do videos. In your case, it'd be the third option, seeing how you've been reacting to commentaries.
It's always the fucking there's no such thing as a commentary that appeals to a minority. It's always the commentaries on YouTube. They are only directed towards a popular point of view or just a generally accepted way of thinking.
What? No, seriously, what? It's just people's opinions. They do commentaries on people because they found something wrong or several things wrong in the video. In this case, you're not only doing a terrible job of defending your points, but your argument is flawed. You, sir, know nothing about the commentary community.
That's the reason why this commentary was even made to begin with, and that's probably the reason why it's so positively critiqued, is because it's targeted towards a generally popular way of thinking.
Oh, so an egotistical stoner and a pompous hipster. What a horrible combination! And the positive feedback couldn't be due to how she tore through your points and arguments like several stacks of pancakes.
And it's just... Yeah, guys, she doesn't give a shit about correcting me. She only wants fucking views, and she only wants you guys to like the video. I mean, I don't know that.
Then why even bring it up in the first place? Yes, it's usually a goal for a video to be mostly liked. Jeez, more generalizations sweep across the land. Gandhi is starting to get hostile. Very hostile. In fact, he just researched the Manhattan Project. So I'd say, duck and cover!
Okay, next time we'll have the real thing.
She needed to, like I was mentioning earlier in the video about a one-dimensional point of thinking, it really was. It's like she's only thinking about it in one dimension. And that one dimension that she's thinking about it happens to be the one dimension that she agrees with and makes me sound the most incriminated, okay?
What kind of critical thinking is needed about a rant on bronies? All you've done is generalize a group of people without any conclusive evidence. It doesn't take a psychiatrist or a skilled debater to know that your whole argument is flawed and it's got holes in it like Swiss cheese. And I'm going to skip the rest of the video because it's just him saying how he's going to do another commentary. Or wait, no he's not. Where is he? Even he was confused because he flubbered over his own words. And saying how much of a rebel he is. Because, you know, that's completely original. So with that, we're finally finished with these abominations. Closing thoughts? Wow, never had I thought that I'd find someone with as big of an ego as him. What's there of worth with his material? What rant videos he has are just broad generalizations that anyone can poke holes into, and if anyone says otherwise to his oh-so-glorious opinion, then he'll just insult you and throw a tantrum in the comments. He's claimed on different occasions how he's wanted people to show proof. Bitch, look at yourself before you start telling people that. He shows no evidence in his rants, and we're supposed to take it all in face value. If he is watching this, get off your pedestal and stop thinking that you're holier than thou and can't do anything wrong. Anyway, folks, I'm done here. This has been Son of Ifrit, and I bid you all adieu.